Okay, look, this pivot to this pivot, I've got this all these extensions. Nice. And on the launch candle, so basically all the way from 0 point whatever this is to the top here, yeah, another extension. I've done two extensions just on the launch candle and just on this first this pullback here. Potentially you could do one on this the first pullback here too. So let me just have a look at that too, which is this one, there to there. So potentially three extensions potentially. What's interesting about this first one is really interesting. This first one, if you look at it in more depth, when the price expanded up, it went to the 1.618. It's difficult to see, but it's basically from there to the 1.618. You see that? So these extensions really are playing a role. You can see if this one, the 1.272 played a role. It actually was a little bit of an SR flip, and maybe the 1.414 and the 1.618, obviously. Okay, so we have three fib extensions in play right now. Let me see. Why have I only got two? That one, that one, that one. There should be three. So this is the other one. Okay, that's all we got really, because I can't really see impulses. There's one impulse here, but what's the rest? Is the rest just some kind of a wave 2? You could argue the rest is a wave 2. You could definitely argue that this is your first impulse and everything we're experiencing is a wave 2. So that's also something to bear in mind. So that's your first impulse all the way up to there, and this whole thing is a wave 2. Where does the impulse begin? Not sure. Maybe there, and maybe we're in a wave 3. Okay, that's one idea. So we have impulse, wave 2, and now we're in a wave 3. Okay, 4, 5, whatever. Or you could argue that none of this was impulsive, it was just some kind of collective corrective behavior, and we're only just beginning to impulse. Okay, and that's why I have this other idea too. No one really knows. It's always easier in hindsight, always easier in hindsight. So I'm just gonna, I've got some different kind of ideas on this. Got my volume area. We left the volume area. We're in price discovery now. It's very easy to see that we're making new highs. We're in all-time highs now on MEW, so that's quite exciting to see. I'm using this Solana, wrap Solana chart just simply because it's got all the data. It might not have all the volume. Actually, most of the volume is probably going to be coming off Binance, but we're in price discovery, so volume really doesn't matter. What matters now are fibs. So to get my fibs, I've got three fib extensions. I'm just going to have a look at all three of them one by one. I'll go to a slightly higher time frame, the daily time frame, to have a look. And I'm using the log scale chart. So this is the first one. It's basically from this pivot down to here, and you've got your 1.272, 4.14, 1.618, and 2, etc. Okay. Now I've got my next one. I'm going to map that, and that's basically from the first top to the first drop. It was literally within a day. Okay, I like that one because the next day it went all the way up to the 1.618, and the 1.272, as you can see here, acted as some kind of SR flip. So these fibs are being respected, and we're back over the 1.618 now, so we're back into price stuff. This is looking quite bullish. And the last one I'm using is the launch candle itself, just the candle itself, the launch day from bottom to top, to get another fib extension. that gives us some fib extension targets in price discovery. All right, so I'm only interested in price discovery now. And so I've opened up all my fibs together, and what I'm looking for is confluence, right? And what I can see is, apart from some arbitrary levels, I think the biggest area of resistance is going to be here. You see that? It's not a perfect alignment, but that's as close as you're going to get to resistance, big resistance in price discovery. Yeah, I think, because you're coming against two fib extensions that in a very close proximity to each other. One is a 1.618. That's a 1.618 of this extension from there to there, all the way up to the 1.618, and that will correspond with the 1.414 of the first day that actually took us to the 1.618. Okay, I think. Is it the first day, or is it to the bottom? No, it's to the bottom. That's the first, that's the launch candle. It's the 1.418. Okay, sorry, the 1.414. So really that's my target in this move now. I'm thinking that's my target. And then everything else I'm not gonna hide it, but I'm just gonna, for the time being, I'm gonna ignore it. And I'm gonna try and, if possible, I'm gonna try and count waves, if possible. I've drawn this channel as well. And I do also think it's possible. I mean, it'd be amazing. What would be amazing if we could get to this area on November the 4th, 5th, 3rd. Yeah, like that would be perfect. A really good place to take profit or short or whatever. Probably take profit. You wouldn't necessarily short in the first instance, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. It's quite a way away though, you know, like we don't know how this is going to expand, if it's going to expand, but basically I think contend, get past the midpoint of this channel, and then if we could just kind of rally up all the way up to there. So from the current price, we're looking potentially that would be a 200% increase in value. I think that's where I'm targeting at the moment on this token. Okay, and potentially it is potentially, I don't know, because it's quite hard to calculate the timings. The timings aren't great, but potentially you're looking at also at some kind of harmonic pattern. It's quite subjective. It's very subjective, because actually this, I'm not 100%. Yeah, I like harmonics to come on time, but I mean, if it did come on time, it would look like some kind of bearish crap. What are the timings on that? It doesn't really time well, so that's why I'm a bit hesitant about this. Excuse me. Maybe by the end of the month. Yeah. Oops. What did I do? So a little bit earlier. It's a bit subjective, huh? The timing. End of the month, beginning of November. That would be really nice, huh? To complete some kind of bearish crab at the right fib extension. All right, so that's kind of where I'm at now with MEW. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an alert just before it. Just in case it hits, so I can just see. . approaching target. I'll call it approaching target. And then I'll just set a little alert there. Ready for take profit. All right. And actually what would be nice to see, what you really want to see is for the price to go up, and then pump into your target. You want to see a pump into your target. You don't want to see the price creep up into your target. And I don't think it would creep up, because I mean, you're talking about it getting up there in about 4 or 5 days time, maybe at the weekend even. If it comes a little bit earlier at the weekend, I'll be a-okay with that. I would be a-okay with that. And so if we get up to our target on Sunday, that'll be here instead of there. It'll be here. That's okay. It doesn't really matter before or after. That's like an area as a zone, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking for now on MEW. I am in a position. I was accumulating this range, and my average position now was I basically see this point in control. That's my average position. So I'm already 100% up, but I'm actually looking to take this up now another 200%. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at with this cat in a dog's world.